Today, we are going to answer some questions from Quora. The core question that we're going to answer today is, how do I accept that I am God? Now, this is a very controversial topic. This is a very controversial question, even within the spiritual community. So beyond the church of what we perceive Christianity or the general perception, even that is split on how much we are allowed as humans to claim our God right? The God within us. So there are many different scriptures that talk about the God within us, that God dwells within us. Do you not know that you are a temple of God and God dwells within you? So there are all these different supports for this in the Christian religion. Even within the spiritual community, if we go outside of the Christian religion, there is a lot of support for embracing that perspective that we are the divine eyes of God, that we are God embodied in a vessel. And that is opposed by to believe that you are God is ego and God is beyond any one person. And okay. And the same thing within that Christian, the pushback is always that the human, cannot carry God within him because he is not worthy because of his sins. That's a whole other topic. So accepting that you are God, if we think about what God is, essentially, if we shift how we think about what God is, my understanding is that God is energy. Energy is the one thing in the universe that cannot be created or destroyed. It just is. It just exists. And our bodies somehow harness energy to live. It's electricity that runs our brain, that activates the body within us, right? That activates this vessel, like plugging us in. And when you disconnect the energy, as in there's no more brain activity, there's no more electrical activity in the brain, then there's no more person in the vessel. Okay. So if we imagine that that energy is actually the energy of God, if we imagine that that energy is actually the energy of God that is animating our brains and running through our veins, right? Then it's certainly understandable to start looking at things and accept that you are God in this vessel, an individualized piece of God, experiencing the world in a microcosm rather than the macrocosm as the creator, rather than from the top down, experiencing his creation, God's creation, from the bottom up, by its energy living and animating every living thing on our planet, on this particular planet, and perhaps on all planets, I would assume. It is energy that is God. And if you accept that energy is God, we carry energy in our body. Therefore, we are a vessel for God. And perhaps you want to believe that we are two different entities within the vessel. We have our soul and the peace of God that we're carrying around with us. But I would push back on that by saying that it is our journey here to embrace that, to integrate the human experience with that divine piece of God, the light, Gaia. It doesn't matter what you call it Fred. It doesn't matter what you call it as long as you're seeking it. Integrating our human experience with that divine as much as possible and seeing the entire world through the divine perspective. I think that that's the human purpose. So that was our question for today. If you want to see more, I'm sure there'll be some videos popping up right here. And you can always get links to my other videos by going to my website. You can go to my website, unleashyourlight.org. That's where you can order a copy of Unleash Your Light. You can also get it on Amazon. I have several other books as well. I have A Simple Spirituality of Self and Navigating Your Awakening, both available on Amazon. You can find links to them on my website, unleashyourlight.org. Subscribing or whatever else you'd like to do. You know all the buttony things. You know all the things to do.